Hi everyone. Hey, if you like to do a bit of prepping at the end of each week, either on a Saturday or a Sunday, just thinking ahead of what you can do to help the flow of the week coming, then I would love you to watch this video. The things that I'm doing in this video are not mind-blowing at all, but I believe that they do help just with the flow of the week, and just saving a bit of time in the mornings and in the evenings, doing a little bit of food prep and also some restocking of some items and just some other things that hopefully you will find helpful. So let's go. The first part of my weekly prep, be it a Saturday or a Sunday, is a great opportunity to assess what extra meal we can rustle up with the odd bits and pieces we have in our fridges. If you are someone who does a meal plan for 7 days and you can find ingredients for one extra meal at the end of each week, then this enables you to get 4 extra meals over your month. Half a week of extra meals, which potentially equates to a good portion of grocery budget that could be used elsewhere. That's never a bad thing in my view. This is the perfect way to use up ingredients that are almost all used up, like a half tomato or any bit of cheese, or any veggies that are not quite as fresh as when you first bought them. For my family, it will normally comprise of a meal with an eggy base and whatever veggies are left over. Then you can add any extra items according to your family's tastes. Cheese, ham, olives, sun-dried tomatoes, fresh or dried herbs. For your family, you may have a lot of potatoes to use and build your extra meal around that. Whatever you can find. Now here's a veggie hack for you. If you have a perfectly edible but wilting broccoli, like this one here, then simply cut off the bottom of the stalk and put it in a large bowl of water. It's fine to submerge the whole broccoli, but definitely have at least the stalk in the water. Pop it in your fridge for at least 4 hours, preferably longer if possible, and watch on to see a new and improved broccoli. So here is the same broccoli after about 4 to 5 hours in the fridge. The stalk has sucked up the much needed water and the whole head is now firm and the florets nice and plump. No wilted broccoli in sight. And you can do the same with carrots, cauliflower, other veggies as well. So for this meal, I'm just going to be finely chopping up half of this broccoli. And just whatever else I could find in the fridge, which you can see here. These eggs, there was about 8 eggs I think I used here. I've just whisked them up, and then everything else literally just gets put in and mixed together. These potatoes are finely sliced and they were cooked in a pan. Season well. With a frittata you definitely need a good amount of salt to bring out the flavour. And here I've got zucchini, olives, ham, capsicum, tomatoes and a little bit of spring onion, all leftovers in my fridge. Give it a good stir and then it goes into the oven for about half an hour, I guess it was, on 180-190 degrees until the egg is cooked and it's looking nice and brown on top like this. We just had this with salad and some bread rolls. The next thing that I like to do over a weekend is take an inventory of what protein I have in my pantry or freezer, and then a meal plan can be decided on from there. Meal planning in itself could be a whole video on its own, and I know there will be many families who have their own fantastic system of what works for them and their budget. You just have to get savvy. But one thing I do, which I find really helpful, is to buy meat only when it's on special or reduced to clear. Different supermarkets will usually have a time of the day where if you go in at that time, they have done all of their price reductions on meat. In my supermarket, first thing on a Saturday morning is usually a great time to get a worthwhile deal. I simply buy what I can within my budget and what I know my family will eat, and then it goes straight in the freezer. Mince can be split into 500-gram lots, and something like bacon into portions of what you would cook at any one time. If you are able to have meat available in your freezer ready to go, then it means that you can meal plan for the coming week with that meat that you've got in your freezer. And when you buy reduced meat at your next food shop, then that will be for the following week. This is how I try to keep costs down and be able to forward plan meals. It's also really handy to have certain food items frozen in your freezer, just ready to grab. If you keep on watching, I'll tell you a little bit more about these soon. You know, it is really annoying when you come down to the kitchen in the morning and you go to make a nice coffee, or you want to make porridge for the kids or bake a cake, and nothing is restocked or where it should be and containers are empty. This next part of my weekly kitchen prep I love doing because I find it quite therapeutic in a way and so satisfying. My pantry restock and inventory is what I am doing here. If I haven't done it religiously each week, like what has happened recently, then I end up having to do a big sort out in my pantry. First of all, I get all of the dry food items out of the pantry and the corresponding container that they are meant to be in. As you can see, I need to do a video on a pantry makeover very soon. I find my pantry quite difficult as it's very narrow and the shelves are deep. But this is more of a reason to need to keep it organised. My herbs and spices I keep in one of my awkward corner cupboards. Might have to have a rethink about all of my cupboards soon. And of course, here is my Sally, who is always close by and trying to disrupt my tripod. So just get everything out onto the bench to see what you've got. This is a great way to also keep on top of your pantry inventory. Here I have pulled out 4 bags of brown rice, which I would have avoided overbuying if I had just put the first bag into a designated container as soon as I had unpacked the groceries. I also discovered multiple packs of oat milk hidden behind other items on different shelves and extra honey. This is another downfall of a deep pantry, as items get lost at the back. Once I have an idea of what I am well stocked on versus low on stock or completely out of, then I will write on my whiteboard what is needed for my next shop. So here is what I started with, and it's crazy really, because this is all unnecessarily clogging up my already small pantry. I have assigned containers for each of these items, but also have the containers that they have originally come in. No wonder it looks and feels so cramped in my pantry. This looks much better, more organised, and I have a clear visual of what stock I have now. And just remember, all of these little organisational habits we consistently do may not seem like much help, but cumulatively they will have a valuable impact on our everyday lives. The next thing that I like to do before a busy week starts is to do some food prep. Now, this is going to look different for each family, but anything is going to be more helpful than nothing. You could just start with washing the fruit that will be going into lunch boxes and getting it organised in the fridge, or chopping it up and getting it into containers so that it's easy for hungry mouths to grab a healthy snack. Veggies can be prepped in advance when thinking about work lunches or evening meals. It will all help in the coming week with time. And you know what? Time is valuable. It is one of the most valuable things. We all feel like we don't have enough of it in a day and that it goes too quickly. So anything you can do in food preparation at the beginning of the week, your future self is going to hugely thank your past self. My kids will happily take cut-up veggies in their lunch boxes. So what I am cutting up here is carrots and capsicum and washing some baby tomatoes. We will also use these as a quick, healthy vegetable side for an evening meal. But my view is that if I'm already cutting veggies, then I may as well just do a whole bunch, and it will keep crisp in the correct container in the fridge. Another vegetable that is super helpful to have in the least peeled is potatoes. These will keep in the fridge for a good few days if covered in water and sealed. If you need to throw a meal together quickly one night, then having these ready to be either roasted or mashed or made into fries helps hugely with time. I also find it super helpful to prep breadcrumbs and chop onions ahead. I have had my time of buying bags of pre-diced onion, firstly because I hate chopping onions, but mostly because it saves time and is so convenient to have it all done for you. But the flip side of convenience is the high cost. I know that if I just put a little effort in at the beginning of each week, then I can have the convenience without the cost. I simply whiz up any stale or older bread into breadcrumbs, and the onions get finely chopped in the food processor as well. I then put them in a small Ziploc bag and into the freezer they go. Each little bag is about one large onion and a cup of breadcrumbs. So super easy to just grab a bag from the freezer and defrost for use in a meal. Making lunches the night before and having breakfasts and baking made ahead is a game changer for me on a busy weekday morning. We are all trying to get out of the house for work and school, and for me, the less to organise, the better. A little bit of effort the night before will make for a much less stressful morning the following day. I like to prep my own breakfast ahead for the whole week, and they just go into the freezer until I get one out in the morning. I don't eat breakfast until about 10 a.m, so I take it to work with me and it thaws out over the early morning. I quite often will have grab-and-go breakfast for my teenagers as well, something high protein to get them through the morning. Here I am making up containers of mixed berries and cherries, a sprinkle of linseed, sunflower seeds and almond mix, and a third of a cup of oats. Lunches are very simple in this house, but I do try to have as much fresh and unprocessed food for the kids to pack into their lunch boxes. I usually just get everything out onto the bench for them to choose from and leave them to it. Weekly baking is usually something like muffins or a banana or chocolate cake. It is so much cheaper to be making your own sweet treats. A pack of 6 banana chocolate muffins in New Zealand costs about $5 these days. The last things I like to do to set my week up well is to refresh the bin and top up any cleaning supplies in my kitchen. I find it very annoying when everyone keeps filling up the bin to brimming, but no one empties it. It's always helpful to not have that situation first thing on a Monday morning. So get a clean bag in your bin, give it a wipe out, and the lid a good disinfect. Take out the recycling and fill any spray containers you use regularly in the week. Remember that this all just saves a little bit of our time and sanity for the week ahead.
Are you finally over
then of course, keep going with our everyday principles that we are working on. We are still working in our kitchens. You're going to keep going with your clutter zone tidy each day for 5 to 10 minutes. Clean one extra surface each day. Declutter 1 to 5 items every day as well and get it out of your house. And of course, shine your sink at the end of every evening, including clearing the dishes away from the side. Have a great week, everyone.